Once upon a time, there was a struggling entrepreneur, just like you, just like I once was, and they were chasing somebody else's dreams, which meant that they were working too much, they were out of alignment, it was causing a lot of stress, and they weren't having enough success. And then one day, which means me, after I realized that this was the wrong path for me and that I was getting anxiety attacks from working too much and not achieving my dreams, I built something that allowed me to bridge the gap between the painful prison that I was in and the promised land. And today, I want to show this little billionaire time matrix that is going to help you get more done, do the right things, make more money, and achieve the life of your dreams. Come on, let's go look at it. All right, so I built this out and I call it being the Oprah of your business. In fact, I got a lot of this from Oprah, which is why I call it the Billionaire Time Matrix. And I got a lot of stuff from Steve Jobs and so many other great entrepreneurs who clearly either have some type of time machine or just a better command of their time. They leverage it more. So we want to make sure that we're not time losers, but time leveragers in order to get more done in our life. So we're going to draw this little box. And when you have this 4 quadrants, all you need to do is ask yourself one question in each quadrant. You're going to identify how many hours this week is going to save you per week. And I bet you that we will find you 10 hours. And when we make you 10 extra hours, you can use those for selling. You can use those for going to your kids' sports or their recitals. You can use this time to sleep. You can use this time to live appropriately so you don't have anxiety attacks like I did. Back when I was 30 years old, building my first business, I worked so much. I thought I had true freedom because I could work all the hours that I wanted to. But it wasn't until I put the structure into my life, some of the structure that I'm going to show you right now, took better control of my time, started making better choices, better decisions, increased my hourly value, brought on people, lifted them up, became more of a leader than a boss, a top-down person giving orders. That was when I had the shift and the acceleration in my income. It was like that hockey stick that you often see that we all want. We all want that exponential growth, and so I'm going to share that with you today. So grab a little pen and paper and make these 4 boxes and write down in the top left box, what do you hate doing? When we can eliminate something that you hate, not only do you save that time of the actual doing, you save the anxiety, the dread, the anger about the exercise or the activity in your business. So it's almost like we're saving you 2 or 3 times as much time as the activity takes itself. So my answer to this question, what do you hate doing? My answer is I hate doing calls in the morning. I hate doing sales calls. I hate doing coaching calls in the morning with my clients. The thing is, I live in Vancouver. I'm on a time zone that is not really conducive to having calls with my clients in France and Holland and all over Europe. But sometimes I have to do those calls. Now, I enjoy the actual call, but I dread it the night before. And I'm like, oh, why did I schedule that call at 9 o'clock in the morning in my magic time when I should be creating new sales methods and I should be filming videos like this one? No, instead, I'm going to be on the phone doing something that I love, just not at the right time of day. So I lose that time the day before in anxiety. So think about what you hate doing. It could be that you hate cleaning the gym that you own. It could be that you hate the commute that you have. It could be that you hate certain activities in the business. You hate doing the bookkeeping. You hate doing this, that, or the other thing. Now, there's a couple fixes for it. First of it, you can automate it. You can have some type of software come in and do the bookkeeping for you. You can delegate it. You could hire somebody and bring on somebody in accounting to do that for you. Or you could delegate the cleaning of the gym to some other people. And you can eliminate it. You can eliminate it. So what I did was I eliminated calls in my morning by, in most cases, I still have 1 or 2, but in most cases I eliminated all my calls in the morning because I just shifted in the afternoon. So from 2 until 4, I'm on back-to-back-to-back-to-back calls, but it's great because it suits my energy and it's all about, in terms of time leverage, matching the difficulty of the exercise with the energy and the creativity and the productivity and the flow state that you have. So for me, if I need to write a sales letter, I need to do it in the morning because that's when I have the greatest discipline, willpower, attention, and creativity and productivity. I'm in the flow state. and I need to match that difficult task. Now, if I try and do that difficult task in the afternoon when all I want to do is, talk to my clients and give them advice, and I don't want to think super hard about solving my own problems, well, if I try and do that in the afternoon, I'm going to be misaligned. And anytime you are misaligned in life, anytime you are doing the wrong things in the wrong direction at the wrong time, you're going to have more stress and less success. You're going to have that feeling in your gut of anxiety. It's going to cause you problems. It's going to build up, and eventually it's going to explode, right? It's like you're trying to hold that pressure cooker down, but it's going to build up and explode. So we need to make sure that we are not doing things we hate. Even if it means we're doing things we like at the wrong time, we have to switch that up. And when you do that, you will save that worry and anxiety time, plus you'll get rid of the thing that you do not like. Up in the top right corner, I want you to write down, what do you need to stop doing? This is complete elimination from your business. So for a long time for me, I'm an author, and I wanted to go on a lot of podcasts and radio shows and even some television shows in order to promote my book. Now, I went and did, and I have done, over 800 podcasts in my life. 200 of them are mine, 200 of them are with Bedros Keuilian, and the other 400 were interviews for other people's shows. Now, it's great when I was able to get on The One Thing in front of the Keller Williams audience of 10,000 agents, and it was awesome when I did a TV show. I did Fox 5 in New York. But when I did a podcast for somebody that had 25 listeners, it was a horrible use of my time. Horrible. In 10 or 12 minutes, I can film a YouTube video like this that will be watched thousands of times, and we can take little clips from this video and put it on Instagram, which will be watched thousands of times. All of those things, thousands of viewers from 10 minutes, instead of an hour-long podcast for 25 listeners. Horrible use of my time to do that. So I simply needed to stop that. Now, how did I stop that? I put parameters around my decision-making. Think about yourself. Right now, you're saying yes to too many activities, and you need to say no to more things. It's very hard, right? I didn't want to say no to those kids who were doing the podcast in their mother's basement in a closet and had the 25 listeners. Like, I wanted to help those kids. I was once like those kids. In fact, I'm such a sucker. If I get any podcast request from somebody who's 16 or 18 or 20, I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. There's a kid this young doing a podcast in South Africa for entrepreneurs who are teenagers. And I'll do that podcast. I'm like, he has 50 listeners. What am I doing with my life? I mean, I want to do it, but I can't be Mother Teresa to everybody. Oprah's not answering every email that she gets, and she has billions of women who want to ask her questions, billions of men too. So eventually we have to come with parameters around our decision making. And I came across this years ago when I was on the road a lot, and it was stopping me from living my dream life and finding the love of my life. And I was just on the road in too many airports, and I remember there were so many. There was not so many. There was a couple of taxi rides on Friday nights, 8 o'clock, going back to my home in Denver, being on the road. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? I was really frustrated. And so I was like, I made this 3-day trip to speak it was this particular event in Austin, Texas. I made this 3-day trip. I wasted a lot of time in airports, on the plane, just goofing around at the event. I was speaking at Paleo FX in Austin, Texas, and it was a cool event. And they paid me $2,500 for the presentation. And you thought, wow, you get paid $2,500 for a presentation. Yeah, but it was really 3 days. It was the flight there, the event, a whole lot of mingling, and a little bit of networking. And yeah, you might meet somebody cool, but you can't just do everything on mites. And then it was a day-long travel home, and then a depressing taxi ride. And was it really worth the $2,500? So I decided no. And right then I was going to 10x my speaking fee. So now I won't speak at an event unless someone's going to pay me $25,000. In most cases, 99% of the time, they say, no, we can't afford that. And I go, great, I can stay at home working on my business and growing it exponentially instead of being in an airport on the road and depressing myself. Now, if they say yes, great, I'll take it. They win, I win, everybody wins. But it's really built around me being able to say no easily. So think about what you're saying yes to. Are you saying yes to cutting your lawn because you're guilted by your parents? You need to say no. I don't do activities that do not serve my business. And if that means upsetting my parents and having a little tiff with them, I've got to make that sacrifice. Or maybe you are doing your own laundry, making all your meals because of the guilt of your mother-in-law. Well, you can't let that go on either. You weren't put here to do those activities. Somebody else was put here to do that. That's their zone of genius. They love doing it. They love serving in that capacity. Great. You weren't. You were put here to build a business. Maybe you're a coach, maybe you're a mindset coach, and you weren't put here to scrub a dub on the floors. You were put here to change people's mindsets so that they could have exponential growth. Or maybe you're a real estate agent. You weren't put here to clean houses. You were put here to sell houses, to put people into the home of their dreams. And there's nothing selfish about that. So you need to go, what do I need to stop doing? And then you need to have a checklist of parameters. When somebody asks me to do this, I need to go and look at my list and see, does it do X, X, and X? If it doesn't, then I say no to it. And you can say it in a polite way. One of my friends' name is Isabel Price, and she has an 8-figure business helping women lose weight. Isabel's very faith-based. And one day, she found a Christian coach, and she loved this woman's books, and she wanted to talk to this woman. So she sent an email to the Christian coach's website. She was an author, she wasn't a coach, but Isabel wanted coaching from her. And so Isabel sent the email to this woman's site, and I forget her name, but it was such a great reply back from the woman's assistant who said, I'm sorry, but such and such person is busy doing God's work right now and can't take your call. And I thought, what a great answer, right? What a great answer. How do you argue with that? And so whatever it is that your faith or beliefs are, you have to understand you were put here to do a certain type of work. And when someone asks you to do a different type of work, you must say no to it. And use that example as the inspiration and guidance on how to say no in a nice, polite way. Now, on to the bottom left. Very important question. What is not your job? What is not your job? Let me say that there are 5 words that will kill an entrepreneur, like truly kill an entrepreneur. That will lead to incredible amounts of stress, anxiety, could lead to heart attacks. And those 5 words are, I will do it myself. I will do it myself. No, I'll just do it myself. No one can do it as good as me. No one can do it as fast as me. It's going to take me an hour to teach somebody. I might as well just do it myself. And that's the nail in the coffin. So if you find yourself saying those 5 words, you need to take a good hard look and say, wait, what's not my job? What's not my job? So if you are a real estate agent, is it your job to do all the back-end paperwork? Well, if you want to sell a record number of houses and you're already booked to the gills and at this pace you're only going to sell half that number of houses and half of your time is in administration and paperwork, then it's not your job. It's not your job. And you got to find the discipline, power, strength, courage, inspiration to say, I'm sorry, but it is not my job. I will not do it myself. And I will go and find somebody who was put here to do this job, and I will give them this opportunity. You see, as entrepreneurs, as high performers, as people who are interested in growing revenue, we don't understand that there are people who are the opposite of us and like to be tenders. So my mentor, Mark Ford, has a great analogy or great phraseology. He says there's really 2 types of people. There's in the entrepreneurial space and in your business. There are growers, people who want to grow the business, right? People who will, they'll forget about administration and organization. They'll just be out there selling and marketing and bringing in leads, and it's a little bit messy. And then there are tenders, right? There are people who tend the business, who keep the organization, who keep the trains running on time. We're growers, you and I. We're thinking about selling and how can we get more clients and how can we sell more programs and how can I get my book to the top of the New York Times bestseller list. And then we have tenders, the people who are like, whoa, we got to make sure that you get to the right place on time and it's organized and the team meetings are here and everyone's supported and everyone gets their books on time and the numbers line up and we're not spending too much. You're not a tender. And you have to understand there are people that love it. There are people who love being organized. There are people who love being assistants. There are people who just absolutely love bookkeeping and accounting. You and I don't have to understand it. We just have to, leverage it. So understand that there are other people out there who love doing the jobs that you should not be doing. If you don't like to write, great. There's a lot of people out there who could just do nothing but sit in front of a computer all day long and write for 12 hours a day, and they want to do your writing. So you can give them an audio, you can give them instructions, and they'll send you back better writing in 1/5 of the time, at 1/5 of the price that it would take you, or the cost that it would take you with your hours, and it'll be 5 times better. You've got to give them that chance. So write down what's not your job, and then go and recruit, hire, and delegate and lead and coach these people to do the stuff that you shouldn't be doing. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, this is going to cost me a fortune, man. No, it's not. Because you see, there's websites like Upwork.com and FreeUp.net and Fiverr.com where you can find people from all over the world, including your own country. It's not just Eastern Europe or South America where you'll find people who will do things at reasonable prices. You'll be able to find somebody who can give you full CFO level accounting help in Kansas working for $30 or $40 an hour. Where if you had to find that person in California, it'd be $100, $120, $150 an hour. You'll find people willing to be virtual assistants in Michigan for $9 an hour. You'll be shocked at what you find. And if you can properly communicate what you want, show them examples of what you want, they can go and do that work for you. That's the power of the virtual world. Now, there's some things that will need in-person people, but there's things like TaskRabbit, and then obviously there's Uber to drive you around. There's other people who can do things for you so that you don't have to do everything. There's Rover if you want somebody to walk your dog. I mean, there's apps for everything. So understand you shouldn't be doing stuff that you weren't put here to do. And as long as you're a decent leader and communicator, you can get that done. And if you become a great leader and a great communicator, not only will you find people to do this stuff, but as I mentioned before, you'll find people who do it cheaper and exponentially better than you. And that's when you can start to leverage. This is time leverage, not time losing, so that you grow your business and your income. Then finally, what are your distractions? Let's be honest, what are your distractions? For me, it's Instagram. I can justify, I got to go back on Instagram and check some messages because I sell and I get clients on Instagram. And the next thing you know, I'm in conversations that are not moving my business ahead. And so I waste about 30 minutes a day on Instagram. Used to waste 30 minutes on Instagram per day until I did this. And now I just turn the phone off instead of getting into Instagram in the evening. Shut the phone off at 6 o'clock every single day. Gone is the temptation. I've destroyed the distraction. I've tossed the temptation. All right, so we got to get rid of it. So what do you hate doing? And either move this or automate, delegate, eliminate it. What do you need to stop doing? That's definite elimination. What's not your job? This is delegation. And what are your distractions? Again, another elimination. And when you go through this, you will make more time. Minimum of 10 hours in a week. This is a game changer. And then not only that, but you'll have more time for your magic time. Your magic time, the time of day when you're 3 times more productive, creative, and energetic. It won't be robbed from you, which will then be another leverage point in your business so that when you pull that time lever, money will come out. That's what this is all about. And that's why it's called the Billionaire Time Matrix. Because think about it. If I can make you an extra 10 hours and then you can spend this on deep work and deep thinking and problem solving and advancing your opportunities and growing your network, think about the opportunities that opens up to you, the income opportunities. And you know what? You're actually going to enjoy it a lot more and put more thought and energy and effort into it. So my friend, from Oprah and me to you is the Billionaire Time Matrix, which will give you back your life so that, that once upon a time story that, it had a classic hero's journey, right? It led to my anxiety attacks, but then it allowed me to open this up, understand this, share it with the world, and now you won't have anxiety, you won't have stress, you'll have more success. So what I want you to do is drop a comment below and let me know how this helped you. I want you to send me a message on Instagram at @RealCraigBallantyne and give me Craig, this allowed me to do X, Y, Z, ABC, or whatever. Or you can ask me follow-up questions on it. And then make sure you subscribe to the channel. And then finally, if you want to work with me, go to CraigBallantyne.com/apply. We'll customize this for your life and your business to help you go and grow.